Someone wanted me to respond to this issue. What should you do when someone does not respond to your messages? Now, I say messages because it could be in a voicemail or text or any other way. It's all the same thing. What should you do when someone doesn't respond to your messages? I don't think you should do anything. Why? Because you really don't know why that person is not responding to your messages, whether it's a text or voicemail. They could be going through something personal. It could be emotional, physical. You just don't know. When you feel like responding, I think you should ask them, is everything okay? I haven't heard from you in a while. I think you should let them know how you feel. Now, if they still do not respond, then the best thing you could do is to pray for that person. But the worst thing that you could do is make an assumption. I think that's a big mistake when people make assumptions about a person when they really don't know what's going on. And all you're going to do is make yourself sick mentally and emotionally, especially if you have strong feelings for that person. But that's also a mistake too, to base your happiness on a person. You don't want to do that. You have to love yourself enough to let that person go if that's the case. If the person doesn't want, you don't hear from the person anymore. You have to love yourself enough to let that person go and love that person enough to let them go, because that's what love is. When you become obsessive with a person, that's not love. That's just obsession, and it's going to drive you nuts. And everybody's going to think you're crazy. And you don't want, you're not crazy, but it's when people start making assumptions about other people or become obsessive with other people, that's when it's not good or normal. So I think that you should not make assumptions because you really don't know why that person is not responding to you. The best thing, again, that you could do is to pray for that person and pray for yourself that you would just move on and be kind to yourself and to others. Now, if that person takes a couple of hours or took a couple of hours or a couple of days to respond to you, don't take it personal, again, because you don't know why that person took long. Now, should you do the same to that person? No, I don't think so, because all you're doing is assuming. I've heard people say that where if they took a couple of days, you take a couple of days. But what are you trying to accomplish? It's not good to assume things. You respond when you want to respond. But I think it's important, if you really care about that person, that you let that person know, is everything okay? Because I haven't heard from you in a while, and I'm concerned and I care about you. Let them know that you care about them. There's no shame in letting other people you care about them. Now, if they don't respond to that, then that's it. It's time to let them go. It's time for you to love yourself enough and that person enough to let them go. And if that person was meant for you in the relationship, whether it's a friendship or more, then they'll come around. If not, it just wasn't meant to be. There's too many people in the world, too many women and men in the world for you to die or work or make yourself crazy for someone who doesn't want to give you the same kind of love or attention. You're only going to make yourself sick emotionally and physically. And is that worth it? I don't think so. And that's the biggest mistake that people make. They become so infatuated with one person. You don't want to do that. You have to love yourself. The Bible says that you overcome evil by doing good. Move on. Move on with your life. And get to know the next person. That's another mistake people make, is they're too quick to get personal with people when they really don't know that person. Get to know the person first before you get that close to a person. And the Bible also says in James chapter 1:19, everyone should be quick to listen and slow to speak and slow to become angry. Why? Why slow, everyone? What does the Bible say? Jesus' brother, James chapter 1:19. Why does James say everyone should be quick to listen? Because a lot of times we want to talk before we want to listen. And then it upsets the person because the way we respond, and they know we weren't listening. So if you really want to respond, you should really listen first. So you'll be able to respond better because you listen. And then why does James says we should be slow to speak? Because sometimes, again, we're quick to want to say something, and we really don't, and what we say doesn't come out right because we weren't listening. First, we have to listen. Then we can speak. And why being slow to anger? Because anger doesn't accomplish anything. All it does is make you sick and make the other person upset and uncomfortable with you. Nobody wants to be with an angry person. Let's face it. Being angry is not good for your health. You can look it up. It's been medically documented. Anger is not good for you. If you're driving, you should not let things get to you. Just let it go. Move on. Otherwise, you're going to drive yourself nuts because there's always someone out there that's going to rub you the wrong way. So you ask yourself, do you want to live your life like that as an angry person? Or you want to learn to let things go? You're going to find that you'll be a happier, better, healthier person if you're not quick to be angry. I mean, we all get upset, but we shouldn't hold on to it. It's poison. So that's basically it. What should we do when someone does not respond to our messages? Nothing. Just let it go. Give it time. And like I said, if you want to respond, let the person know you care and that you're concerned. And then after that, they don't want to listen, then it's time to let them go. To love yourself enough to let them go and love that person enough to let them go. Because if you cannot let a person go, that's not love, that's obsession. And you're only going to drive yourself crazy. And it doesn't look right. People are going to think you're crazy. And you don't want people to think that you're crazy. You want to be kind to yourself, love yourself. And again, there's too many people out there for you to be obsessed with one person. You shouldn't be obsessed with anyone. And I hope that my advice has been helpful to you. Until next time, God bless.